They had, I don't know about you all, but I get all my news from Fox. Do you all get it someplace else? And so they had, the other night they were talking about it again, and they had a great presentation. And they explained something. So I want you to be able to go out and talk to your neighbors a little bit about it. Probably if I weren't an engineer, I would love to be a teacher. My wife says I spend way too much time teaching. That's what I spend with my staff. I'm always teaching. I want them to understand how we get to where we are. So I'm going to teach here just for a few minutes on it. Think about the health care bill. I hope I'm not going to get down too much in the weeds. But when that bill came back from the Senate, it was a flawed piece of legislation. They really thought that it was going to go to a conference committee and get cleaned up. When I served the legislature 20 years ago, whatever, back in the 80s, we always relied on the conference committees to work out the differences between legislation. Woody, you've been on probably conference committees. You know that's where they work out the problems with it. They thought that bill was going to go to conference committee. Then Scott Brown got elected in Massachusetts, and they didn't have the votes to override a filibuster. So what happened is they had to adopt the Senate bill, flawed as it was. Let me show you one of the things, just one component that is huge. That's what all 21 states are focusing on right now. There's no severability clause. Now let me explain that. Woody and I know, and Donna, you know that, from all of us that have ever served, you want to have a severability clause so that if any one part of a bill is found to be unconstitutional, the rest of the bill survives. They said, whoops, the Senate didn't put that in the bill. There is no severability clause. So if any one component is found to be unconstitutional, the entire health care bill goes away. And that's awesome. I want to be, I'll be very candid with you. I want a health care bill, but not that one. This one is not the way we want to go. This one was done with any Republican support. It was done in back rooms. It was done in such a flawed fashion that we have this. I've got a chart. Let me, Mary, I'll bring my van of white up here if that's all right. Let me just see if we can. This is our health care bill as we have it for years. Can you all see that? And let's just, American, the insurance company, the patients, and the physicians. That's what we had. That's how our society worked for years. But then the Senate worked its magic, and the House worked its magic, and we didn't have people standing up and fighting for West Virginia, fighting for what makes sense, fighting for against things that were going to job-killing legislation in this health care bill. We want to have a health care bill. America deserves to have it as an industrialized nation, but not this one. This one that you're going to see in a minute has $14 billion in hidden taxes. It has 68 new grant programs, 47 bureaucratic entities, 29 demonstration programs, 6 regulatory systems, 6 compliance standards, 2 entitlements. And I always like to add, and a partridge in a pear tree. Look, what you have to see, this is how it's worked. Let me show you a chart of what our health care bill now looks like. If that doesn't scare you, that's our health care bill. 16,500 new IRS agents to enforce it. Is that what we were looking for? You see why it was flawed? They've got It's just one layer on top. They want us as employers now, we have to be able to report what our income of our spouses back so that we can report to the IRS what our spouses are making. That means as an employer, I'm getting information that I otherwise am not entitled to. I shouldn't know what that man's spouse gets at another job. But they're asking us to collect that information. And then starting next year, you're going to have to put, if you have any company insurance, you have to report how much money was on that. And why is that? Because eventually they're going to tax you on that.